Hi, in this video I'm going to give you a little introduction of our revolutionary flagship product, which is fresh cheese. Before I explain, let me show you some of the fresh cheese that I made by myself. So it looks like this, and there's another one that looks something like this, and the last one right here looks like this. So you might think that these all look like the same as those you would see at a grocery store, but that's not really true because these are very special type of fresh cheese. What I mean by special is that these are the first and the only cheese in the world that were naturally made through the fermentation process at a room temperature without adding substance of any kind. We all know that if you leave milk outside for some time, just leave the cap open, it's gonna start to spoil, not ferment. That's because in the world we live in, or just room temperature, for example, these microorganisms like bacteria that are responsible for spoilage are much stronger than those that are responsible for fermentation. So they always end up going bad. That's just the law of nature. But our proprietary technology, we have the ability to control these microorganisms. We can increase the activity and the growth of these good bacteria while restricting the activity and the growth of the bad bacteria, and these happen simultaneously. So what do you end up with? You end up with cheese like this at the room temperature. So what I did was that I programmed, so these milk have been programmed, right, with those traits I explained before, and then these are left outside for days. I just didn't do anything, just left it undisturbed for days, and a couple days later, that's what you see. So that's pretty amazing, right? So the fact that milk became cheese at a room temperature means two things primarily, and the first one is that extended shelf life. So fresh cheese is gaining a lot of popularity because it has a lot of health benefits, but also has very unique odor and taste. So everyone loves it and the market's going up, blah, blah, blah. But the biggest downside when it comes to widespread distribution is the short shelf life. Because these fresh cheese start spoiling really fast, that's just a huge limitation when it comes to distribution. So that's why these mozzarella or cottage cheese are salted in order to give just a little more shelf life, but they typically expire in a week, and if left open, then they need to be consumed immediately. Otherwise, it will start to spoil right away. So, but with these cheese, because it didn't spoil at the room temperature, but rather fermented. This means this can last much longer than any other fresh cheese in the world. And if refrigerated, you can store it for more than a year. So that's something unprecedented and unheard of. So that's just the kicker right here. But what's more special about these cheese, I think that's just pretty amazing and shocking, is that what happens to our body when we consume the cheese. So all fresh cheese has probiotic bacteria, but not all of them are created equal. What does this mean? It means that in a typical cheese making process, the milk has to be sterilized first in order to kill all the pathogens. But in the process, the good bacteria, the bacteria we need, are also killed. So then what happens is that these starter culture are added into the milk, and you sort of go through the agitation process in order to kind of promote the growth. But these are very weak per se, because everything got wiped out first, and then you just artificially inoculated, and then you basically regrowing everything from the scratch. So they're like kind of little babies. On the other hand, our cheese, because it went through fermentation at a room temperature, this means that the good bacteria were much stronger than the bad bacteria, so they defeated the bad guys, which ended up with cheese like this. So this memory of huge victory against the harmful bacteria is stored in their genes in a form of information. So what happens is that when you eat that cheese, it goes into our body and it hits our stomach, and that information gets transmitted immediately to the rest of the body, especially to those bad microorganisms. So then these cells or bacteria start to notice something odd about this super probiotic bacteria, because they know that this super bacteria is really strong, so they can't really fight back, and then realize that they would have to stop working immediately in order to avoid getting killed. So that means they become inactivated. So how you can tell about that is that when a person with like diarrhea or having food poisoning eats our cheese, the moment you eat them, shortly after your stomach becomes very comfortable, and those symptoms go away. That's because they are typically associated with the activity of E. coli bacteria, and they become inactivated as soon as they realize the presence of these superbiotic bacteria, which is full of them right here in this cheese. So it really is revolutionary, because it works as like a medicine. It's a natural medicine. So on top of extended shelf life, that's great, and taste is superior, flavor is great, but also it has a healing component, so it can heal a lot of virus or bacteria related diseases. So especially if anyone with a weaker immune system, like for example kids, babies, or pregnant women, or elderly, these are very effective for them. So we are actually trying to bring this product into the market right now, and we're exploring all the other possibilities to make that happen. So if you are interested, please don't hesitate to contact us, and we can discuss potential business opportunities here. But these are very revolutionary, and then something that will shake up the world. And that's at least what I believe, and I know for a fact because I've experienced it. I was the one who made it, and this technology is just beyond imagination. But thank you very much. This video was just a little demo of our prototype. But hopefully that everyone will have the opportunity to meet this product soon. Thank you very much.